Good morning. I'm about ready to go do my workout, and I wanted to touch on topic number 2, joy over despair. This is going to be done in a little bit different way. I'm simply going to ask the question, sit in the moment, and then from there release. So one of the things that I've been fond of quoting is that I personally do not know that I've experienced joy until I started to play pickleball. At any length of time. So there's little snippets of joy when I would make a healthy choice. I remember having a relationship end that was many years unhealthy, and just feeling this peacefulness, this calmness, this confirmation that I had made the right decision for myself and the other person's existence. And I felt joy at that time. And so joy was a foreign thing for me for many years until my 30s, and I didn't realize it. Was something I could be had. I sometimes talk about even experiencing some bliss, and one of the things that I realize is that pickleball allows us to feel like kids again. It's like you can stay up past a certain time when everything else is dark, and this is especially true out here in San Diego sometimes with the time changes. I don't know when they're going to change that in our states, but sometimes it gets dark at 4 p.m. and that can feel very almost depressing because of the darkness. You kind of go indoors a little bit more if you don't have plans. Well, this time I can remember just playing until 10 when the lights go out of the park, or at the membership place that I play at until 9:30. And so it just felt like, when the street lights come on, we got to come home, kids. Type of feeling, only this was when the street lights go out, we have to be at home, which would never happen in the neighborhood, hopefully. So I found joy of childhood in it. And so here's some of the great questions related to this topic. How pickleball saves the planet, how it releases the negativity of despair, and the opposite of despair would be joy in this case. And so one of the things that is a great question is what does source or divine source or our higher power, heavenly parents, our creator feel when it absorbs humans feeling joy or playing in joy? And so one of the things that I remember being a quote is, if God came to you and found you in a state of despair, even though you've been given so much, would source then allow for more to be given? Or if the same person in a different dimension of reality, I'll be speaking about dimensions of reality quite a bit. If you can hear the crows in the background, it's kind of cool. If the same individual was in a different dimension of reality and saying this mindset, this one mindset changes everything, that joy comes from the root of gratitude, and gratitude is a gratitude for all that is, both the things that we might initially see as not bad. Bad is a very easy way to go down a negative path, but everything being for our best and highest good. I guess that's the opposing side. So joy is at the root of gratitude, and how differently would divine source reward that individual? I know things for sure, even if all things were equal and equal things were given by divine source, the one that would be in a state of gratitude would certainly recognize and add more to that, things that are given. And so if we're given much and we are grateful for much, we'll turn much into more. If we're given little and we'll show gratitude for little, then we'll probably create much from little. And so this is a great principle of how joy is created, by seeing everything coming through divine source as something we're grateful for. So here's another great question. What role does joy play in cellular regeneration and spiritual resilience? Our cells are listening. If we're in the present moment, our cells actually have been scientifically shown to regenerate and recreate in a very healthy, smoothing way. You can slow down time, or the essence of time, by simply being in the moment. If you think about it this way, at the very minimum, if you're stressed out, worried about the future, your cells are not in that moment generating in a healthy way. They're in a stressed out condition. If you're thinking about the past or depression, we just described anxiety about the future, then the cells once again are not regenerating themselves. But if we get very present, it is seen that our cells even as much as the telomeres can be extended, that is a state of meditative state. And so joy definitely helps to regenerate cells in that way. But also the side of this, which is spiritual resilience. Okay, so that is a term. Spiritual resilience would be that hopefulness, right? If we're in that moment and we're not exhausting ourselves, leaking energy is like how I like to say it, in the past or in the future, then we're in the moment, and that resilience that comes from taking breaks in the moment. You know, one thing that I love about playing pickleball is that it really causes you to really be in the moment, and it actually makes you remediate any thoughts that could be taking you out of that present moment, because you won't play as well unless you're in that moment. So right before somebody serves, I like to try to feel the breeze. I like to really run the scenario and then set that aside and just respond in the very flow of things. I love to see that, because what it will do is it will free me up to see what on the court is available for me. And so this is a beautiful question about cellular regeneration as well as spiritual resilience. Much more can be said about spiritual resilience, and we'll get on that a little bit later on. So the next question is, how can I be a transmitter of joy in my next game? So one thing that I'm really working on myself as a growth area is if something doesn't go right, releasing that and then choosing a better mindset. So I like to smile after things don't go right after I've released. No, crap. Every once in a while, swear word. But then if it's released, then it leaves me in a place where I can intentionally fill in. So one of the things that Rafael Nadal, I think it was, that said is if things aren't going well, then just know that your best shots are to come. And so just the mindset shift, right? It just stands to reason if, you know, and that itself can switch over. So being a transmitter of joy, you know, I love that the sport itself puts me in a very state of authenticity. And authenticity is an element of joy, being my best, like most natural state. I'm a fiery person, and that is my way of transmuting joy. You know, many times people say, you know, it was a really fun game, fun playing it. Even if we beat them really good, in the scoring sense, there's just a lot of, like, you know, good vibrations there. So that is a very good way. Like if I'm actually, you know, like engaging in negativity with somebody, that's not going to be the way. That's definitely not going to be the way that somebody's going to feel welcome. It's not going to be the way that somebody's going to enjoy joy. But being in that place where I'm intentionally choosing to release any negativity, to look for my best game, and to help others to see themselves the same. You know, there's some partners that I play with, I literally have to tune into a GIF, because this is a transmitter discussion. I literally have to tune into a different transmitter because they're transmitting negativity. You'll hear them. I played with one yesterday, and we won our games because I chose intentionally to not listen to the transmission on him. He actually will make a negative noise, whether it's him messing up or somebody else, and that can be a really strong pressure on someone like me that really wants to have somebody have a good time, but also that judges my journeys, right? In a negative way if I'm not being intentional. So when he stepped on the court, I was like, I'm just going to set myself on the intention that I'm going to play well. And sure enough, we won. But I've been in that situation in the past where I get in the loop and I'll actually try to correct him. Hey, look, let me just play my game, you do yours. There was one time that I came over on the left side and really took a lot of the court, and then he wanted to just engage and tell me I was wrong and all this other stuff. Well, I tuned him out this time, and in tuning him out, I was able to transmit a different frequency. The frequency of vulnerability was not available to him. The frequency of got it, you know, and then focusing on the next point. That is joy. Present moment, authenticity, choosing a better setting, having fun with the present moment, smiling, enjoying the moment, playing my best game. That's all related to me transmitting joy. And I hope you choose that transmission as well. So this is the joy over despair, right? When you're playing the sport, it's a plastic ball with a bunch of holes in it. Don't take it so serious. And yet in that growth process, if you got to release. Don't hold on to it. And then choose the frequency that now after you've released, you can fill in with something else. And with that, This is Pickleball Saves the Planet. Make sure you follow, like, and subscribe, and make sure that you're on our list if you're interested in a private investment.